David Anderson. I'm a professor at Texas A&M. David Anderson, I'm a professor and extension economist with Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service. I'm a livestock economist by trade. Avian influenza, bird flu, has driven egg prices higher because it's cut supplies. It's cut into our number of egg-laying chickens, which produce fewer eggs, big cut in supplies, and now we have skyrocketing prices. A year ago, we had egg prices at about $2.19 per dozen. Last week in the wholesale market around the country, we had eggs at $5.99 per dozen. So it's almost a tripling of egg prices. Well, basically, the increase in egg prices is a market signal. High prices tell us consumers to buy less. So the first part of that is consumers are buying fewer, will end up buying fewer eggs because the price is higher. And so that sort of rations demand, if you will. Now, as an economist, I'll tell you markets work and high prices are a signal. It's a signal to us consumers to buy fewer eggs. It's also a market signal to producers to produce more eggs. And so that's really the market at work, and that market mechanism to bring prices back down is to increase production and kind of pull back that quantity demanded a little bit. I don't know where you get an alternative to an egg, quite honestly. You know, even if you looked at all the variety of eggs that you can buy, whether it's, powdered or egg whites or egg yolks or whatever, it all starts with an egg. So, if you think about so many baking, cooking applications, breakfast, how are we going to do that without an egg? And so there's really not really a substitute for an egg in that regard. So really there's not much of a substitute for an egg, but we could take this a little differently and think of eggs as a protein source in our diet. And one of the longer term trends has been for us to get more protein in our diets. Eggs are part of that, but so are meats. There are some beans and things like that, some plant-based protein alternatives. None of those are really a substitute for an egg if you're looking for an egg. But in terms of protein in our overall diet, those are substitutes. No, we're not going to have a wingless Super Bowl. Wings at the Super Bowl is sort of our holiday staple for that big event. And really what's become, I think, a holiday across the country. We're going to have plenty of wings. Avian influenza has really hit our egg-laying chickens and our turkeys particularly hard. There have been incidences at broiler farms, and broilers being young chickens that are going to become wings, but really the biggest incidents have been in egg-laying farms and turkey flocks. Are there other contributing factors to higher prices for eggs? And I think if we looked over time, a longer term trend in terms of what people like to eat is more protein in our diets. Eggs are part of that. So eggs have probably benefited from some demand growth over time to meet we've built demand for eggs as consumers want more protein in their diet. So that's one thing going on. There's another thing going on in terms of longer term, and that's a move towards, for instance, cage-free eggs. You go to your grocery store and you look over there where the eggs are, you see conventionally produced, you see cage-free, organic, all this host of things. But all of those eggs produced in those production systems cost more to produce. And so as consumers ask for eggs produced in these different ways, eggs are becoming more costly because it just plain costs more to produce them. So there are more factors at work, including transportation and labor and all the things we see throughout our economy. But avian influenza is the big deal for egg prices right now.